Hi friends, this is Aisha and you are watching Aisha's tutorials. Today you'll learn about cell, the basic unit of life. So why this cell is known as the basic unit of life? Let us know in this video. So first of all, what are living organisms? Living organisms are nothing but those organisms which have life. Now let us see why this cell, actually this cell, it is known as the structural and a functional unit of life, and as you can see that this is also known as the basic unit of life. So now in this video you will know about the discovery of the cell, the theory which is known as cell. So what you learn here in this video, you will know about the discovery of the cell, so who discovered the cell and all those things, and then the cell theory, who proposed the cell theory and what are the postulations in the cell theory, and then timeline. So here timeline shows us in which year what was discovered. Okay, so these are the things you are going to learn here. So coming to the discovery of the cell, in the year 1665, Robert Hooke, the scientist, discovered the cell for the first time. So who discovered the cell? Robert Hooke. So Robert Hooke discovered the cell for the first time. So actually what is this cell? So I told you that living organisms have So actually what is this cell? Cell is nothing but the basic unit of life, and as we know, the living organism, the complete organism is present. So these living organisms comprise of many organ systems. For example, digestive system, nervous system, circulatory system, excretory system. So all these organ systems are present in any living organism, so depending upon their complexity. So like this, these organ systems, again they are made up of organs. So for example, let us take this digestive system. So in digestive system we can find stomach. So this stomach is an organ. So organ, again it comprises of the tissues. So it is all again made up of tissues. So these tissues are nothing but the group of cells which perform similar function. So here, for example, if we go still deeper, then we can see the cell in the tissues. So like this, finally we can see the cell. So it is known as the basic unit of life. So in the year 1665, Robert Hooke discovered the cell for the first time. Until then the cell was unknown. But he discovered this cell in the cork cells. Actually you can see the outermost layer of the trees, the bark or the cork, which are dead cells. Actually those are the dead cells. So he observed these cells for the first time in the cork cells. Cork cells are nothing but the dead cells. Then he coined a term for those cells which he observed in the microscope. So he observed some compartments in the microscope from this cork cells, from this cork, and he termed a word known as cella. Cella in Latin. This word cella, it belongs to Latin language. So let us know what is the meaning of cella. So here you can see, so like this he was able to see the compartments. Here you can see the compartments. So cella means nothing but a little room. So as he was able to see some little rooms or some small compartments, he coined a term called cella, and this word cella means nothing but a little room. And he also published about it in his book called Micrographia. So Micrographia was the book written by Robert Hooke. So like this, he discovered the cell. But as he discovered the cell, from the cork cells, he was not able to see anything, any cell organelles or any constituents present in the cell. Just he was able to see the membranes. So like this, the boundaries we can say, or the membranes. Just he was able to see the membranes because those were the dead cells. So now let us know who discovered the living cells. So it was Anton von Leeuwenhoek. Anton von Leeuwenhoek who discovered, who observed the living cells for the first time, and it was done in the year 1674. So in the year 1674, Anton von Leeuwenhoek was the first scientist who discovered the living cells. So here you can find the difference. Robert Hooke discovered the cell, but those were the dead cells. And he also coined the term cella, which means a little room. But the living cells for the first time were discovered by Anton von Leeuwenhoek in the year 1674. So he observed, he took some pond water and he observed under the microscope on a slide, and he was able to observe the algae, Spirogyra, and bacteria, because in pond water we can find many microorganisms. So he's also the person who observed the bacteria for the first time under the microscope, and he coined a term called animalcules. Animalcules for the first time for the bacteria. So as he observed the bacteria, and he coined a term called animalcules for the bacteria. Okay, and then Anton von Leeuwenhoek is also regarded as father of microbiology. So he is the father of microbiology. Okay, then coming to the cell theory. So cell theory was proposed by Matthias Schleiden, Theodor Schwann and Rudolf Virchow. Not only these three scientists, but there are some more scientists who gave their postulations for this cell theory, but mainly Matthias Schleiden, Theodor Schwann and Rudolf Virchow. They proposed a cell theory. So in this cell theory, they gave the postulations which they discovered about the cell, the things they discovered about the cell. So here Rudolf Virchow, he gave a statement that is known as omnis cellula e cellula. So it is in Latin language, omnis cellula e cellula. It means that all cells come from pre-existing cells. All cells come from pre-existing cells. So this statement was given by Rudolf Virchow, which means all cells come from pre-existing cells. So there are pre-existing cells, those are present, which are present. So from those existing cells, the new cells are arised. This statement, this was discovered by Rudolf Virchow, and this postulation is also included in the cell theory. And now let us know the postulations of the cell theory. All known living things are made up of cells. So whatever the living organisms present on the earth, all those living organisms, your living things or living organisms both are same. So all those living organisms, they are made up of cells. And then the cell is the structural and functional unit of all living organisms. So we can say here the cell is the structural and functional unit. So why are we calling this cell as a structural and functional unit? Because as we go through the hierarchy, organ systems are present. From organ systems, then in that organ systems, organs are present, then tissues, then cells. So finally we can reach the smallest unit, which is known as cell. There is no more smaller unit than the cell. So it is known as the structural unit. And why it is called functional unit? Because each and every metabolic activity, each and every function happens in the body starts from the cells. So the cell is known as the structural and functional unit of all living organisms. So all cells come from pre-existing cells by division. Just now I told you that this statement, which is known as omnicellular acellular, which means all cells come from pre-existing cells. So there are cells from which the new cells are arised by the process called division, cell division. So this is a postulate under this. And coming to the next one, cells contain hereditary information, which is very important, which is passed from cell to cell during cell division. So these cells, they contain hereditary information. So this information which is present in the cell, it is passed from cell to cell during cell division. So you know, nucleus is the most important cell organelle present in the cell. So in this nucleus, you might have heard the word DNA, genes. So all these are present in the nucleus, which are passed from one generation to another generation, from one cell to the another during the cell division. Okay, and all cells are basically same in chemical composition. Yes, just now we came to know about the discovery of the cell. So there is no a single type of cell. There are many types of cells, and there are plant cell, animal cells, eukaryotic, prokaryotic. So again, different types of cell, different shapes of cells depending upon the function. So many types of cells are present, but still all those are basically same in chemical composition. So the chemical composition present in the cells are basically same. Then coming to the all energy flow of life occurs within the cell. So just I told you that it is a functional unit of all our living organisms. It means the energy, the processed energy, or whatever the metabolic activities happens or all these takes place in the cell, and which helps in the life. All energy flow of life, the energy which is needed for the life, all these happens within the cells. This is about the cell theory, and which is very, very important. These are the postulations, and it is very important for 2 marks or 4 marks for your exams. Next, coming to the timeline. So here, timeline, in this timeline you are going to know about the scientists, their inventions or their discovery. The scientists, their discoveries and their contributions, inventions with the years. Here in the year 1590, Janssen credited with first compound microscope. It means that Zacharias Janssen was the first scientist, was the first person who invented this first compound microscope in the year 1590. Then coming to the next 1665, we have already learnt that Robert Hooke discovered cells in cork. So these corks are nothing but the dead cells. Then in the year 1674, Leeuwenhoek, Antony von Leeuwenhoek, he discovered living cells like algae, Spirogyra and bacteria. Then coming to the next one, in the year 1831, Robert Brown, he was the scientist who discovered the nucleus present in the cell and described it. In the year 1839, Schleiden and Schwann, so these are the two scientists, Schleiden and Schwann, they proposed the cell theory. We have seen that in the cell theory, so this is the assignment you have to do. Go through the questions and try to answer it. So do subscribe, like,